Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can integrate ChatGPT to your application to create conversational chatbot or FAQ bots. Before jumping to the code directly, I will first tell you the ways through which you can integrate GPT to your application. There are two ways mainly by using its raw API or using its SDK. So in our screen currently, we have an example of raw API. It is an chat completion API through which you can interact with GPT by simply asking questions uh, and you go on. And as for our SDK, it shows SDK in Python and Node.js. If you want to integrate in other language, you can simply use its raw API and the particular package that you have for networking in that particular language. So let's get to the step of integrating. For integration, you need an API key, which you will simply get from the dashboard of GPT. Here you can see an option of API key. You just go to create new secret key, enter the following name and create secret key. After that, you will get a key which will be visible here. You just simply copy it and paste it into your env file. Okay, so env file is nothing, just an environment variable which we didn't push to GitHub or any other place. It is stored into your system, so no one easily able to hack it. So the language which I am going to use is Python. So in Python, I will be using Python SDK provided by OpenAI. And for doing so, you need some prerequisite things like Python version 3.8 and it's above, a code editor. These are the only things. So I have created an virtual environment here. You can also create it by simply writing command in command prompt python -m venv space venv. It will create a virtual environment. Virtual environment is nothing more, just a collection of package for your local code base or folder, rather than pushing the every package to a globally. It is a use for version controlling of your packages. So I have already created and installed the packages which were needed in this tutorial. So I just need to simply activate it. For activating the package, the command is like venv/script/activate. It will activate our virtual environment. As you can see, a prefix of venv has uh, added to our path. So if you are using a Linux system, I am currently on Windows system. So for Linux system, you need to add source source, then venv slash bin slash activate. So by doing it, you will able to activate virtual environment in Linux environment also. And uh, then after activating your environment, you need to install certain packages. The packages are mainly FastAPI, which is an backend framework used to create APIs which will interact with your front end. Streamlit is an package uh, in Python through which you can create a UI with the FastAPI, and it will integrate very great with it. UVcorn, which is a basically used to run our server, backend server, and of course our OpenAI SDK through which we will interact with ChatGPT, and our python.env, which will just pick the value which we have put on our .env file to the our current code base. So to do so, our first step is to just import every single packages every single packages. So you can see I have imported FastAPI, our backend framework, identic base model. It is just like validator to validate our uh, things or data we were getting from request, our open AI package, which is an SDK, load.env from .env. It is used to load variable value from .env file, and then OS. Okay. After that, I just need to simply load.env function, which I have called here, and by doing so, I'm get the every single variable on the env file here. Then I have created an instance of FastAPI named app, which will I use to create a API or routes through which I can interact with the front end. Then I simply call the OpenAI OpenAI and set its API key by getting it from our env file. So as we have set, now we can move on to the API creation part. First, we will create a validator or our use base model to validate it. So in it, we just tell it we will get an key name message in our request body, which will be a string. So other than that, if we get it, we'll simply not accept it. So now I go to the step of creating an endpoint. So here we can see I using an our fast API object, and we are creating a post API post request with a chat path or endpoint. So now with the function inside the function, we were added the try except thing to handle our API better. In case of any exception, we will get our server will not crash. It will just simply throw the return this response to our front end. Then for the next part, we just simply use OpenAPI chat completion API, which we have seen in the docs part. So rather than using this API, I use the uh, Python SDK package. So SDK package is nothing more. It's just a wrapper around this endpoint. So it make it easy to implement. So there it is a chat completion API. There are many more. You can explore it in its API reference doc and SDK packages. So after that, if I we were calling the chat GPT or open AI API to get the data, I will explain the parameter which I have found. You have to give the model which you want to use. So I am using GPT 3.5 Turbo as it is cheap and decent model to use. And then there is a message. In message, you simply tell the what role are you using. There can be a user system. So you in the user prompt, you just simply ask your question in the content part what you want. And in system, if you use a system prompt, just adding system here, you simply tell how the GPT should act like. And by streaming false, I am just saying that give me the output in a one go, not in the not like chat GPT you see word by word it is showing onto your screen. So after getting the response from there, I need to parse it. So this is the code in reply part. I have parsed it by using those. It simply means that in response I am getting a choice, then it may be an array. After getting the first element of array, there will be a message and then content. So it is a parsing type. You can explore it on your own. So after that, after creating the app, I think we can start the server to check if it's working or not. So the running the our fast API application, the command will be like unicorn main app minus reload is just a flag to tell that every time I make change in this code base, it just reload it to reflect the changes. So after running it, we will see that it is working or not. So as you can see, we have get that our application is running on localhost at port 8000, and application startup is complete. So if you hit this API of chat completion, you will get some response from it. So as the I think backend side is completed, now I will create the uh, simple UI using streamlit to where we can display our integration. To first step also be like we need to import the packages. I have imported streamlit and request library. Request library is nothing more uh, than our what network calling package. Then it's our endpoint that we need to call. If I simply go and paste it on the browser, you can see I am getting an error, method is not allowed, because by default browser make get request. So to check it, you can use other tools like thunder client or postman if you have. So it's a thunder client. I pasted the URL, make it post and send, and here we can see we were getting that we were missing body field message field required. So it is simply telling us that we have not sent it. So I am just sending message, how are you, in body. Let's see it will work or not. Yes, as you can see, I'm getting it wrong. I'm just a computer program, so I don't feel. So it will show that our backend API is working fine. Let's go to the streamlit again. So after that, we will create a function to make the code modeler. So in this function, chat with GPT, I have just simply requested the this particular API and send it the message which we want to ask from GPT, any question. And if I get a status of 200, I will simply tell the I will simply print the response which I am getting. If I'm getting nothing from there, I will set that no response from the API. Or else if it is any other status code rather than 200, I will simply print out the error which I were getting from our backend. After that, we can start working on a streamlit. So streamlit, uh, it uh, most of the UI are pre-built, so I just need to add some things like title. So I use the title chat GPT with fast API in streamlit. You can put anything and it will show on the screen. And this user input field is a field where you just input the value of what question you want to ask or a message. After that, you have input the message, but you need something to you need some action to perform. Show the our backend get the response. So I have created a button send. If it is clicked, I will check that is there is any response in the input or not. Okay. If there is no response, I will just simply print please enter a message. If there is a response, I will call the API using this function that I have created previously, and will get the response which will be shown in the screen. So our backend is working. Or so to run our streamlit, we need to again activate our virtual environment. Virtual environment is activated. Now I have to write a command to run a streamlit app. So the command is like streamlit run your file name app.py. By doing so, our streamlit app will start running. As you can see, it has started running. It is showing. So this is the title that you are seeing. You can also change this title. So I will simply ask some question. So you can ask I have previously asked, write an article on geography. I will send it. It is currently running. So after some time I will get some response. So you can see we have get the response from GPT. Geography is a fantastic discipline and all of that. We will ask some difficult question. If it will answer, it will answer. Like write a code to solve n queen problem using CPP. I have sent this question. After some time we will get the response from GPT, and let's see. So you can see that it has given us the response, and code is looking pretty neat. So as you can see, it is integrated. If you want to integrate some other stuff, other LLM or GPTs with yourself, you can also use Bard or Gemini APIs. Currently, Gemini API is free to use, so you can also use it, and it also has SDK packages which you can use. And for ChatGPT, maybe you get a free API for 3 months. After that, you have to pay. So, in case you want to use free API, you can also use Gemini for it, and there will be other things like Olama, where you can install other LLM like Llama 2, Phi 2, and Dolphin, Mistral. So thanks for watching our tutorial powered by Coca Labs. If you have any doubt or query, please do ask in comment section below.